From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Speaking with the Enemy.
Just about 30 minutes before kickoff, good old friends, the Hamilton Tiger Cats and Toronto Argonauts getting together on a Week 2 contest at BMO Field. Oh my goodness, just a wonderful day for football. Father's Day, I don't know if you could put any more assets together to be down at BMO Field for what should be a wonderful Sunday night football game. Hey, time to call a truce in this long-time rivalry between the Tiger Cats and Argonauts as we present Speaking with the Enemy, presented by redtag.ca. Pleased for us to break down tonight's tilt with veteran play-by-play Argonauts broadcaster Mike Hogan. Hogan, great to hear from you.
Absolutely. You know, I love you guys every day but game day, but I'm here anyway.
Well, we appreciate you showing up, hey. Now,
well, you know, it's the Argo Ticat thing. We can be frenemies, but you know, it's game day.
Grr, exactly. Hey, you know, as we look at your contest tonight, and this is a Week 1 contest for you guys, how have you filled in all this extra time in terms of preparation for week number 1?
There were a couple of day A's added to the schedule, so it wasn't just, you know, starting on Tuesday cold, or Wednesday, I guess, cold. So it was guys did a team lift one day. It was going to be an outdoor team A, but that was the day we got like a monsoon in Toronto, so the guys kept it inside. But for the most part, it's been letting the aches and pains of training camp get better. You know, it's you're on turf. It's 3-hour practice every day. It adds up, especially for the bigger guys. So I think they enjoyed the downtime, watching some video, lifting, obviously doing what they have to do to keep in shape, but letting the body heal and then getting back at it on Tuesday.
Mike, one of the biggest questions around the league is going to be, who is Chad Kelly, and what is he going to do this year? What has been your impression of him so far as the leader of this team since the beginning of training camp?
I think pretty much as advertised. I mean, you get a little swagger with him. That's kind of the personality. So probably more than most quarterbacks, he wears his emotions on his sleeve. If a player makes a good catch for him downfield, he'll run downfield, pat him on the butt, and get back in the huddle. He's one of those guys. He runs around. He moves around really well. He's got a ridiculous arm. And now it's just, can he do it in a game situation? I think he's going to be a little like Bo Levi, where, you know, he'll take his shots downfield. Might not always work, but he's going to take his shots downfield maybe a little bit more than McLeod Bethel-Thompson would have. I just think from an entertainment standpoint, first and foremost, he's going to be a guy that fans are going to like to see play unless he happens to be playing their team any given night. Whether that excitement turns into a lot of W's, we'll find out. But I think everybody in this city, we're pretty confident he could be that guy.
Well, you mentioned throwing the ball downfield, and if you're looking at his playmakers around him, there's a lot of continuity on this team, and it might be hard pressed to find a better, on paper, receiving core in the league, and then a couple really stout running backs as well. How important is that going to be to have that those veterans around him all working together?
Oh, boy, you know what it's like. I mean, you come in and you know a playbook. You know, you have the same offensive coordinator. You've got the same receivers around you, the same receiver coach, predominantly the same offensive line, although Darius Sirocco comes over this year. He's going to start at center. And essentially Isaiah Cage is new. That sounds odd because he's been here for 5 years, but he's only played 13 games. He's been injured so much. So, there's a little bit of newness on the offensive line, but with Gittins and Daniels, you know, you've got really solid veterans there. Brissett's back for a third year. Phillips is back for a third year. Coates's back for a second year. And the only other receiver is David Ungerer, who comes down the road down the QEW, but he's played 3 years in the league. So, you're right. And not only that, but he's got Ouellette, he's got Harris, he's got Adebayoye, he's got Leak. He knows everybody in the offense. And that's, continuity is so important, not just in those positions, but O-line, secondary. And there's really a lot, especially on the offense, in terms of continuity.
Well, somebody who adds a lot to the Argos, a recent re-addition, I guess, Jamal Peters, is not in the lineup tonight, which I'm sure a lot of listeners are happy about. What can you tell us about his replacement, Quantez Striggers?
Stiggers is, he's young. He's 22 years old, which is ridiculous. He was going to go to college, but his father was tragically killed in a car accident. So he stayed home. He's from a very big family, and he was basically thrust into that, you're the oldest kid. You've got to help out mom here. So he didn't go to college. He came back. He thought his football career was over, played in the fan-controlled league a year ago, and as a 21-year-old led the league in interceptions. He's a big guy. He's listed at 6 foot 197. He seems thicker than that. Joshua Bell, our DB's coach, loves the kid. He said he's so smart. Like he thinks he could play him anywhere right now. So at least today he's going to start at boundary corner, which is a lot to ask for a 22-year-old rookie. But there's nobody who doesn't think he can do a good job. I mean, I know it's different in practice. It's different in training camp. But you even saw him with an interception in the game in Hamilton in the preseason game. He's just got that knack of being around the football. So we'll see if that's the case again tonight. But he's come up and really been maybe the biggest surprise in training camp this year.
Well, back-to-back years with strong linebacking cores, but looking a little bit different this season. We talked a bit about Darius Pickett coming over in that preseason game, and a big addition, Jordan Williams as well. What does that core look like, and your outlook on the season for the linebackers?
Yeah, Jordan Williams is a guy who can play both middle and weak side, right? So he'll start at Mike today. Enoch Mwamba's not in the lineup. He's on the 6th game now. Wynton McManus, I thought, and obviously there's a little bit of bias, not only because of the team I work for, but because you see all of their games firsthand. I thought Wynton McManus was as good as any defensive player in the league, if not better, last year before he got injured. He was just, I expected him to be good. I didn't expect that last year. So to have him back in the lineup now, he missed the last few games of the regular season, came back in the Eastern Final, and suffered a different injury, so he missed the Grey Cup. But he's back. Williams will be in the middle. And you mentioned Darius Pickett. I thought the best two Sam linebackers in the league last year were Pickett in Montreal and Edwards in Toronto. And you end up with Edwards, we pick up Pickett. So, I think that position in this part of the country is fairly safe in terms of talent. But Pickett was Montreal's best player on the defensive side a year ago, won that award. And, it was funny. The first couple of days of practice, you didn't notice Pickett. I'm going, what's going on here? As soon as they put the pads on, you couldn't take your eyes off him. He was all over the field making plays. So he's one of those guys, and he's going to add some, not only some talent, but a little bit of that energy that we'll be missing with Edwards wearing black and gold.
Hoagie, we're running out of time here, but can you speak a bit about the defensive line? Corey Mace is going to want a big rotation, and being a former lineman himself, a couple new faces there. Can you speak a bit about it?
Yeah, Jared Brinkman is kind of new. He came in last year, played the last game of the regular season, and Montreal really had problems with him. So Brinkman started in the Grey Cup, or was one of the guys in the rotation there, and had a couple of tackles. Flo Rimolade comes over. He was spectacular last year in Calgary. Thomas Costigan adds a lot of speed off one edge, so he and Robbie Knight will rotate with the Rimolade, with Brandon Barlow, with Benoit Marion. It's a really good D-line, and that's going to be maybe the strongest group is the front seven the Argos have assembled this year.
The peace treaty is now concluded. It is now concluded. It is Mike Hogan, and of course, we always appreciate you joining us on Speaking with the Enemy, as presented by Red Tag. Hey, have a tremendous call tonight. I hear there's all kinds of excitement around BMO Field tonight. And do me a favor, if you can do one nice thing for Andy and I, save us a ring, please. We'd like to have one of those.
Just get down here. You have half an hour to get down here. There's no traffic at all coming down the QEW. I expect to see you guys here.
Hoagie, always have a great call, and thanks for joining us on the Ticats
Thanks, guys. Anytime.